Greetings and welcome. Thank you for stopping by here on YouTube Live. Original air date being Tuesday, May the 10th, 2022, and it is approximately 8 p.m. ish. Anything you guys need to know about me should be listed in the description box. Okay, to the newbies and returning viewers and subscribers that are of high vibe, love, and light energy here, I wanted to say thank you and hello, and that I'm wishing you well. And may you receive all of the positivity, all of the love and light energy that you put out there, all that you have contributed. May you be well. May you receive that. To those of you who are coming in on other energy other than benevolence and love and light, may you receive the hell that you project. So, with that being said, trick or treat. Trick or treat, right? Trick or treat. Hashtag karmics, probably a trick. I was just on my TikTok platform for a while today. I did several lives there today. So I decided to switch it up a bit and do one for you all here on the YouTube platform. I do got several videos, YouTube, that I'll be downloading. A good 4 or 5 videos I'll be downloading from the TikTok lives so that you all could have access to these readings I have done in the last few days as well as these discussions, okay? So, but I wanted to come on live and kind of give you guys a little mini version of the discussions I've had today with TikTok. Trick or treat, probably a trick, tricky, okay? So, one of the things, collective, if you're on this ascension path, that you're going to discover is the illusions, the fuck shit, and everything that you once upon a time thought was real, legit, or normal. And you're going to have less and less tolerance to the illusion, to the fake, okay? And so you may have a certain reaction. Some of you may just simply pull away, without creating a dramatic exit. You may simply pull away and just stop talking to certain people, stop dealing with certain people, leave toxic jobs, toxic places. You just kind of just decide. And even though you may have tried to take that approach, you do still see the backlash, or you see how people try to rally um, because you dared to go on with your life and you didn't give somebody some type of a PowerPoint explanation as to why. Ironically enough, these individuals give no explanation for their conduct. So you start to see the hypocrisy in society and the hypocrisy in some of these constructs, family dynamics, cultures, groups, to where it's like that entitlement they have to conduct in certain ways. So they could cut you off, they could ghost you, they could decide to not deal with you. But when the tables turn and you've done the same thing for your health and well being, realizing something is not serving you, then they commence to try to do some really fucked up shit. So I was just sharing the story about how I eventually discovered and got proofs about how there was these collaborations for a long time in Sodom. Nevada is prevalent with people. Um, 2020 really perpetuated this even more than it already was there. As businesses were not functioning the same way, as we had to go non-contact for a while. Um, People in industries that claim to be of service, the help, started acting and conducting in low vibrational ways, or they had at least a few folks in these organizations who did such. And they target, the chosen ones. They target people who are not group controlled, people who know how to stand in their own energy, people who know how to journey and how to go within and don't need a whole group in order to do it. And like the people of old did not have a whole group. And that's what's kind of funny is like, yeah, the greats of history didn't have these big pow bang booms either. So that should tell you something. Okay. So, you know, you'll discover the treachery and the betrayals of people that are having licensures as Reiki masters, tarot readers, psychics, mediums, They have these businesses, people have churches, preachers, teachers, intercessors, your friends and family, lovers, people you've worked with, you'll discover as you break away, you'll start to see the real hell that they operate in. It was covered up to a degree as long as you were connected to the illusion. But when you start to pull away, this is why it's recommended, beautiful souls, as you're guided, don't be afraid of the choice to hermit. Not the negative hermit, not the negative isolation, avoidance, but when you are trying to heal and go within to get clarity. One of the things that happens is we hear too many voices. When I was earlier in my pain and ascension dealing with my ex, when I was earlier in my craft and understanding all of this stuff in this life, before I tapped into the Akash, before I discovered my blueprints and who I was, okay, I would flood myself with reading after reading. I would go on YouTube here and I would just, try to find understanding readings. I would go to different Reiki centers trying to or contact people trying to get some kind of help only to discover that, you know, because of those traumas and those wounds that I was still dealing with, that people was only able to deal with me to the capacity where I allowed myself to be beneath them, or they were allowed to use my energy and control in some kind of way. When I step into power and they start getting glimpses of that goddess energy and divinity, they get triggered. And this is when I start to see their shadows. So I discovered that I just didn't need that anymore, okay? So you all will see this play out. So I'm just trying to encourage those of you who may come on, don't be afraid of that part. Being in hermit is not so you can be weird, okay? It's not about becoming a weirdo dude or gal and don't want to deal with folks. No, it's actually in seasons. It's actually to serve you to, first and foremost, to heal, to clear your energy, to learn your own energy. Sometimes we have too many voices and it's confusing and convoluting. Everybody's motives are different. Every individual that's got a Reiki center does not have pure motives. Sorry. Every individual with a deck of tarot cards and a platform does not necessarily, I'm not accusing anybody in this case, except for the ones that I personally have dealt with. But I'm just simply making a statement as a matter of fact that we have to find this out. And then people are on different levels. And when I say levels, I'm not meaning it in a derogatory sense. I just simply mean that their soul carnation level may be 2. So they came with a certain type of a blueprint and the certain things they'll deal with, and yours may be expanded past it. And it's not about age, because you could be younger than the person with soul level 2. So it's up to us just to, not for judging and comparing, but just to simply learn. We can only find this out when we go within, so that we're not running all over the town asking this one, asking that one. You don't know if they willing to sell their soul for $500 a month because COVID. Because some people lose their integrity just that quick, where they'll do some detestable things for hire. So it serves us well to learn that, and we can only learn it when we pull away from people. It's hard to see something clearly if somebody's in your face constantly moving around, saying something. But when you pull back and simply observe and clear your energy and take your time, then you're able to get clearer judgment. So don't be afraid of the hermit, because the hermit is going to help you to determine if it's a trick or a treat. Is it a karmic trick? Or is it a divine treat? Divinity is not perfect, but divinity is not malicious or exploitatory and controlling. Divinity is not going to lie and steal from those they proclaim to want to help and care for. Divinity is not going to try to minimize someone else's greatness, someone else's business, someone else's health and well-being. Divinity isn't going to uh, seek to sabotage just so they can get some money and survive. Divinity is not going to allow one to betray their own blood, okay, for a fuck, for money, for a house. Divinity is going to kick in and, say, hey, this ain't nothing godly about it, so you might as well start talking Bible and all the shit you're saying. Might as well stop faking, put the sage bundle down, the motherfucking quotes and shit. Like, you might as well just stop, because it ain't about your rituals. It's not about because you go to the meeting and you do this and that. You might as well just stop it. That's not divinity. Divinity pierces you when you're violating other people, even if they're different than you. Even if you don't understand them, it's not going to let you just sit back. Yeah, I'm fencing to do this shit, and I'm by say hallelujah and saying kumbaya. You'll discover this clearly, collective, the more you allow the hermit. This is also where you get your power, if you're using it in a good way. Because, you can use the hermit energy in the wrong way. So if you're using the hermit energy in the positive way that it's meant, which is for insight, to tap into your ancestry, your higher self, for healing work, for transformation, you're going to find out your strengths, your superpowers. You're going to find out so many things here. You're going to learn how to read energy better. You're going to learn who you are better. You're going to learn about what you like and what you don't like. You're going to learn how to be able to tell if this is a trick or a treat. A lot easier. It's not going to ever be totally perfect on the earth, but a lot smoother and a lot quicker. Okay? Give yourself that grace. We don't owe nobody, y'all. Especially people who are dishonorable and have been dishonorable to you. Okay? And acting like they haven't been. So give yourself that grace and then do your part. When your guides start prompting you to do certain things, it serves you to follow suit, because you guys hear me make the statement, no retreat, no surrender. I'm really giving that energy out to karmics. There's no getaway. And divines that are fallen. Because partnering up with the Dark Witch Coven ain't going to save not one of them. They're all going to fry. Not one of them. Saying that they gotten threatened is not going to save them either. When our spirit guides prompt us to do certain things, it's for a reason. Our higher self, spirit guides, whatever you want to call it. So, no retreat, no surrender. People that are dishonorable are going to reap the reward of their dishonor in this life, especially if you decree it. They're going to reap it and reap it hard, okay? But do your part, collective, with the isolation. If you feel confused, if it feels overwhelming, if it feels too much, I'm telling you, this is an indication that perhaps you do need to pull your energy back. You got too many opinions in your head. You have this one saying this. You have that one saying that. You have this one saying this. You have, and each and every one of them have an ulterior motive, whether they're telling you or not. They benefit from you staying stuck. They benefit from you fucking with these kind of people versus that kind of person. You have to determine for yourself. Even with listening to stuff here online, this includes me or anybody. We have to get to a place where it's like, it's too many voices, it's too many opinions, it's too many. You need to find you. You need to be able to gauge what's pulling you so you can know, is it a trick or is it a divine treat? Is it a karmic trick or is it a divine treat? Namaste.